All right, back again. 2000 C5. I'm sure many of you have experienced the brake lights or the blinkers not working. So I've been there before, and I'm going to show you where I found the problem. A lot of times it is the hazard switch or whatever. You know, you've probably seen a bunch of videos on that. But just to help people out a little bit, I'll go through a little bit of kind of how it works, so that way you don't sit there and chase something that you spend a lot of time on. But basically, it did take me a little while to figure it out, and I'll explain what I did to figure it out. Basically, what was happening was I had brake lights on the right side, but I didn't have anything on the left, and I also didn't have any blinkers as well. So I knew it wasn't the hazard switch because I had just replaced it and everything was working. So it kind of threw me for a loop. As you can see, I have all this apart. But what I did do to test to prove it, and I'm just going to show you so you can do the same thing. So the way the wiring works is that if your hazard switch is not working, then you will know this by doing a little simple test that I did. Because the way those hazard switch works is that when you push your brakes and the hazard switch is in the off position, the brakes will go through the hazard switch and then out to the multifunction switch. And a lot of people figure that out by, well, I shouldn't say figure it out, but they know it's not working because they don't have any brake lights at all. So they assume. What happens is the reason they do that is because, I don't know if it's good or bad design, but the hazard switch, the brakes go through there. That way, when you push the hazard switch, it basically overrides the brake and it's able to flash the hazards. But then when you turn it off, it makes the connection again inside of the hazard switch. And the way it does that is right here. If you pull all this off of here, you can see you have this little connector here, and these wires here go up into what's called the multifunction switch, which is basically just this. It's the control inside of here. Now this thing does a lot of things. Cruise control. It controls your headlights, and windshield washers and all that stuff. So there's a bunch of wires here. But the two that you're most concerned with, if you're trying to test if your brake lights are going to work, is these two wires right here, your green, yellow, and the white right here. So if you push your brake pedal and you get power to this white wire, because this is the power wire, this is the feed wire. So if you put your meter, stick what I do is I take either, in this case I have just like a sewing needle, but you can use a paper clip. I just stick a paper clip in the white wire. I put the voltmeter on DC. I touch here and inside of there, or onto the sewing needle that I have like stuck up in there. And then when I push the brake, you will get power to that wire. You'll get 12 volts DC. If you don't get 12 volts DC when you push it, then that means your hazard switch is either broken or your brake switch is broken, which is underneath the brake pedal there. Now, let's assume that you do get 12 volts there and you're not getting power. I'll be back in a second. Sorry, I had to take a little break there. So what I was saying was, so you have power here. You see that you're getting power through this wire into your multifunction switch. So now you want to figure out, okay, what do these yellow and green wires do? Well, I'll tell you what they do. The yellow is the left side brake and turn signal, and the right is the right side brake. The green is the right side brake and turn signal. So if you get power, the easiest way to check this, turn your key on and put your right blinker on, let's say. Let's say that's the one that's working and you want to verify it. Then come here and stick your little sewing needle into the green socket there, and you're gonna see the flashers are you're gonna see it go from 0 to 12 volts, or it might be like 11 or whatever. And if you see it doing that, then you know it's working. You should be able to check it by checking the brake lights in the back, and you'll see them flashing. Then switch it to left and do the same thing with the yellow wire. And if it's working, that means your multifunction switch is working. You're getting power. There's nothing between here and the brake lights which can prohibit the lights from working. So then you're going to ask yourself, well, how in the heck or do I not have brake lights on my driver's side, right? So that's the same question I had. I was like, okay, I know my multifunction switch is working. I know I'm getting power from my hazard switch. There's nothing in between here and there. What could it possibly be, right? Well, I'm going to show you right now. So I pulled the battery out thinking that a lot of people were saying that they had found a fix somewhere in there. And as you can see, there's just a ton of wires down there. So I was hoping to get lucky. And then I said, well, you know what? Let me come back here and look under the car just to get an idea where the wires run. And lucky me, I found the problem pretty quickly. And I'm about to show you. So here's the problem. If you're under the car, this is the brake light plug right here. So if you look right there, that plug was the problem. Get right there and show you. This wire, as you can see, is broken. Right there, see, there's a broken wire. It was still dangling. I kind of pulled it off so I could fix it. But I tested it I just ran a wire inside of this plug. I just touched it with my meter, and then I ran a wire up to the brake light, and there's continuity, so that's definitely the wire. But anyway, so this wire, I presume, runs forward and blah, blah, blah. Who knows where it goes, but bottom line is that there's a broken wire. So I would check in your connector right here, and that probably would be, now from my understanding, there's no relays or anything like I was saying previously, so I knew that either there was a broken wire or some kind of plug, and that's exactly what I found. So lucky me today. Well, hope this helps somebody out, and good luck.